both players looking for 2 frames. Decent break-off shot, which is confirmed by Ali Carter just tapping on the table. This was Ali when we got a close-up after winning the last frame. He's in the zone. And there's a couple of supporters, and for the benefit of our director, that's Manchester United, not Carlisle.
This is one of those, isn't it? If it wasn't at this stage of the match, you'd fancy taking this on, because you can't see the left-hand side for the safety. If you risk playing leave the white off one cushion at this end, the double kiss is on, so he's taking this pot on, and as I said before, he's blessed with cue power, so he's trying to screw the white back. Good job he is blessed with cue power, because he hit that half ball. Needs a bit of help.
That is the only problem with that shot. Because you're playing it with so much pace, you can just put a fraction aside on the cue ball, throw it offline. Now if he hits the red fullish, it will go straight back to the balk end. Hitting it half ball, he's left it in the middle of the table and a chance for his opponent. And as I say, at the moment, every mistake is going to be magnified, because every mistake could cost you the match.
Joe felt he twitched
please
a
make
little
sure
bit
your
at
mobile
that.
phones are switched off, please.
Apparently there was a mobile phone went off right on the shot, and Joe's looking up at the crowd, and there's nothing worse. That's a shame, especially as he's left an easy red on.
One.
Disgusted. They're warned and reminded, not warned, reminded to switch off the mobile phones. It was a good chance. It's so frustrating, and you can understand his annoyance.
4.
Yeah, the next 3 reds and 3 colours are okay, but he's got to go into the bunch at some stage, but that won't be helping Joe as he sits in the chair. He maybe feels these could be his. This black must be pretty tight. It looks from my commentary position that it pots quite comfortably. We'll have a little look now and show you whether you think it pots comfortably as well. Well, certainly the middle of the pocket can be seen, so he can play to get on it. Decided to make sure of getting rid of one of the reds first before risking the black. Now, if you go into them, 9 out of 10 players would.
Well, yeah, I know what you're saying, Willie, but he's got a nice angle. The only red he can play for is the one immediately to the right of the black, into the right corner. If he doesn't feel he can control the cue ball, then fair enough, go into them. But he thinks he can be certain of being on that. Needs to be on it good, because for some reason he's not too certain about the black going into this pocket. Looked to me as though it did. The same pocket as the red, I mean.
11.
Anyway, he could hold for the black in the opposite corner. But he's going to be looking for an angle pretty soon.
It's great, isn't it, to watch the way different players break build. And once again, we're not saying that Ali's shot is wrong. But if he doesn't get a good angle on the next black, that angle he had on the blue, he could regret not going into them. It's a different game these days. Years ago, we'd have definitely played for the loose red.
Yeah, it is a different game, but circumstances alter cases.
18.
And these are very tense circumstances. You really want to play a
19.
not no risk, but error-free. You're going to him this time. Now needs a bit of good fortune. He's got a red to the left middle, and when you open them like that, you're only looking for one red to go at.
26.
He couldn't have hit this better.
Well, that was just magnificent, wasn't it? The key thing when you're playing that pack split, you've got to miss the first red, and as we saw, he goes by the first red before the white starts biting. Now, if he hits the first red, it might be on nothing, but he goes by it, and that's the one that O'Sullivan's made famous, and that was played just as good as O'Sullivan plays them.
This red to the left middle. It's tricky, he's slightly hampered. But it's gone in, and he's perfect on the blue. This was a great chance for Ali Carter to take the lead in the match at a vital time.
He led 9-7.
32.
Obviously led 9-8 as well, but after that he's never ever been in front in this match since that time. This is a great chance to take the lead at the vital time.
$33.
Wasn't perfect on that red, couldn't just roll it in and play for black and screwing up the table. He thought, well, I'll play for the blue, but I'll make certain if I'm not on the blue, I'm on a bought colour. You just feel here he needs one good positional shot, because these reds are nicely placed. He's on a red to the left corner. He'd like to have been a little bit closer to it.
36.
There's just a little bit of pressure on this. Joe Perry, well, was it the mobile phone? Was it a mistake? Whatever. There's nothing he can do now but just sit, watch.
$37.
As John said, he's just one good positional shot away. This could be it, because if he gets nicely again onto the reds to get on the black, he can start getting rid of reds that are in the way of one another, and that's too hard. That's nowhere. Once again, he did it earlier on in the match. He had a target there of 3 or 4 feet he could finish in, and he's hit it 2 feet too hard.
Yeah, it's the old adrenaline, isn't it? It's understandable, of course. When we talk about positional play, when you're under pressure, you just err on the side of making certain of the pot, and that's when the cue ball just starts to drift out of perfect position.
Ali Carter,
A
44.
reprieve for Joe Perry, I'm sure. When he was sat in his chair, he was thinking it could be frame over. Now, can he get round the back of the black? This is this shot that Ali played. Near jaw, tough to pot them off the near jaw. Is it worth the risk just rolling this in slow and going around the back of the black? If he wasn't hampered, I'd fancy him doing that. If you're 44 in front, you won't play this shot, but you're 44 behind, it's worth the risk.
Yeah, it just makes you feel you've got to try and make something happen. When you've got a lead, you can just wait for your opponent to make another mistake. Oh, he went for it and so close. I bet he thought that was in. I think if he hadn't been hampered by the brown, I'd have expected you to get that. But it was so close.